Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. Today we are going to be talking all about Disneyland in 2026. They shared a bunch of information on all the events happening next year and some other fun things to expect. So let's get into it so we can plan our 2026 vacations to Disneyland.
Hey there, vacation dreamers. You've landed on Book Solid, the podcast where two travel advisors share insider tips, top destinations, bucket list activities, and everything you need to know to get the most out of your next vacation. We'll cover what's included, what's not, and throw in plenty of real talk and laughs as we help you plan with confidence. Let's jump in.
It makes me want to go.
I love Disneyland. There's just something about the original park that just it gets me. Maybe because this was the first park I went to as a kid. Maybe that's why and why I love it so much because I have that connection to the park. Could be too because I'm obsessed with Walt Disney as a whole. So the fact that this was literally his baby, it's probably a combination of everything, honestly.
This was the first park I visited too, but I can't exactly say it was the best memory. It was a band trip and it was rainy and I lost all my people. And so I was wandering around the park by myself when they said not to roam the park by yourself.
We need to get you a leash.
It wasn't my, it might have been. I don't feel like it was that time. Like, I don't think I wandered purposefully, but I got in somewhere that I think everybody else left and I was still in there. It was that, I don't even think it's around anymore. I remember it being like a Buzz Lightyear type area, but it was like games and virtual reality type things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. And then I had lost all my people and ran into my coach later and she was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, no.
Question.
I wish I knew. But on a happy note, these events will either let you know when you want to go to Disney World or Disneyland or when to avoid Disneyland.
I'll talk about just the basics of Disneyland really quick because
Perfect.
it's very cut and dry. It's very straightforward. If you're used to Disney World, Disneyland is literally like a dot on the map. It is very small, but don't let that fool you because even though she's small, there arguably is just enough to do at Disneyland, even though it's a much smaller space. They pack it in like sardines. So Disneyland is only two parks that you can walk between both parks, which is super nice. You've got obviously Disneyland Park, the original park. This is where Sleeping Beauty's castle is. It is very small compared to Cinderella's castle at Disney World. You'll see videos of people laughing at how small it is. She's a small little castle. She's cute though. Okay. Then you've got California Adventure. This is where like Pixar Pier is, all of the more like if this is where you want to get drinks, this is where you're going to be able to get alcoholic drinks. There's not really, I don't think there's any in Disneyland Park because it's more so geared towards families and all of that. Those are the two parks. That's it. Then you've got three on site resorts. So, like at Disney World, you've got 20 plus. Disneyland only has three. And if you want to make the connection between Disney World versus Disneyland, Disneyland's three resorts are on the deluxe category. So they do have that price tag. But in my personal opinion, now that I've done it both ways of staying at a good neighbor hotel and on site at a resort, specifically Pixar Place, if you have little kids, this is a non-negotiable. I really thought being within walking distance of the parks was truly a game changer, and just being able to quickly go from point A to point B was literally everything. Like me and my best friend, that was the one thing that we were so thankful that we just went to Pixar Place, because now we will never go back. Like we were already talking about trying out Disneyland Hotel for this next trip. Like we're not even considering Good Neighbor anymore. And no hate to Good Neighbor, I still think they're really great options. You do have some that are very close to the parks, but like I said, in terms of convenience, especially when you have little kids, we're talking 4 years old and 6 months old at the time, it was just a no-brainer to stay as close as possible. Whereas my last trip, we stayed almost a mile away, which again, when you're walking as much as you do at Disneyland and you've got littles, it's not the best. Again, it's doable, like it's not terrible, but in my personal opinion, now that I've done both with kids, stay on site or extremely close.
I think too, with Disneyland and the Good Neighbors, you are instantly out of that bubble as soon as you cross the
Mhm.
gates.
Yeah.
So while it's not unsafe, I always hesitate with kids because I've done
Mhm.
it too, to where we've stayed off and it wasn't a mile. It was fairly close, um, right across the street to the back end of Disneyland and downtown Disney. But I mean, I walked across the street to go to Blaze from my hotel, and I mean, there's people on the street. There's um, people asking for money on the street. Like, I mean, it's just a very different world than if you're used to Disney World and you are very much in that bubble, and that bubble is very big.
Yeah.
As soon as you're outside those gates, Disneyland is no more outside of the gates of Disneyland. So it is more expensive to stay at one of the three resorts.
It
But
is.
again, yeah, if you have littles, the convenience kind of outweighs it, and safety, I would say. Not that it's not unsafe, but at
Yeah, I mean,
nighttime.
yeah, because you hear, it's in Anaheim, and there's a lot of homeless, issues going on in that area because it's just a really populated, it's right out of LA. So there's a lot of homeless people. And like Amanda said, it's not like, oh my God, like, is today the day? Like, it's not scary, sketchy kind of thing. It's not in the Disney bubble, in Disney World. Everyone that's in Disney, they're there for Disney. Whereas Disneyland, Disneyland is just one little part of Anaheim. So most people are not there for Disneyland. They're there because most of the people live there in Anaheim. So just kind of keep that in mind. I mean, again, it's not like terrible. I'm sure you've heard stories. Maybe you haven't. Just kind of keep that in mind. Who you're traveling with, how far are you going to stay? They have some really great good neighbor hotels, in my opinion. There's some fantastic ones. Like, don't just assume just because I am raving on the on-site resorts. And I mean, they're, like I said, they're a pretty penny. They're not cheap. They're minimum roughly about $500 a night. Like, that's not pocket change. Um, but they have really good neighbor hotels that are 1000% a fraction of the cost and
Mhm.
just as good.
Okay, so moving into some of the events and celebrations that are happening next year, we're just going to kind of start at the top of the year and work our way down. Um, they announced that the 70th celebration is going through August 9th. And I'm just reading it so I don't missay something. So this has been running, started this year, and it's going to run through most of next year now, as true
Highly
Disney fashion of celebrations do.
Oh my god. If you can get yourself to Disneyland before this ends, I am not even kidding. I am so excited that we're going to be able to go. Hopefully, we're going to plan for June again. I think June is a really good time. If you're going to go during the summer, personally, go during June because July, believe it or not, July gets really hot. Even though that 1 month difference, I'm not kidding, is the world of difference. I love the 70th, like the whole theming of it. I love the colors. Paint the Night is literally a show I think of on a daily basis. I was in tears watching it because, again, I'm a Disneyland person, so it brings back the electrical parade for me, but modernized. And so getting to like relive my childhood as a little 10-year-old, but then get to watch it with my best friend's kids and watch like their eyes just like, what? Like, I cannot wait to do it again. I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait. It's so good. Oh,
So we'll talk about this a little bit more, but it's going to butt up to D23 in August. Yeah, I mean, I've heard great things about the celebration, the 70th anniversary, so it's been a fun um, celebration for the Disneyland to have.
Another thing, really quick, about the 70th that I will add that hopefully we can do this time, because this was such a last minute, we were just kind of going for vibes this last trip. They have this whole interactive key system where you could, it's a
Mm,
giant key. Like, it's not some teeny tiny little house key. It is a giant
I want to
key.
do
Like,
it.
this. Yeah. Oh my God. I'm
FOMO.
It is so cute. But you buy this massive key that the kids can go take to stations around the park, and they will put it in, pretend they're going to unlock it or whatever, and then it plays like a song or whatever, and then bubbles come out. And I'm not just talking like couple bubbles, it's like bubble party. Okay. The goal is to go to all the stations and like unlock them all, because you get like special pins at the very end, and it's like a little secret. You don't know which one you're going to get. Obviously the kids don't care about the pin, it's just the experience of like getting to unlock each little portal. Oh, I'm hoping I can do it this next trip, because it's gonna be so good. I can't wait.
And then just send me
Oh,
one because I just want the key.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pry it from my best friend's daughter's hands. I just am gonna get pictures and videos as much as I can.
Just get me one. Just pack it in your suitcase.
Right. Okay,
Well,
Bluey fans,
yeah,
this is your moment to shine. So exciting news that we are going to have meet and greets at Disneyland for Bluey, and I think also Bingo. I think Bingo is also
bingo.
joining. It's
Yep.
not just Bluey. And you guys can meet the sisters starting on March 9th at Disneyland. And I really hope I can convince my best friend to go, because sadly her daughter is not the biggest Bluey fan. She just really hasn't gotten into it. But hopefully, we've got several months until this potential
Say,
trip.
start feeding her now.
Hopefully, hopefully we can make it happen. I just think it would be really cute, because
Yeah.
this is like a newer character into the world. Everybody loves Bluey. Like, Bluey's a big thing with the kids now. I just think it would be really cute to meet Bluey and Bingo. If not, I'll just wave from a distance and move on with my life. But if you're Bluey fans, this is just another reason to go to Disneyland, because they're not bringing them to Disney World yet, right? They are, but it's later.
They are, but it's later, and they are to Disney Cruise Line as
That too.
well, but later. Yeah. So they're making their debut in Disneyland, and then they will make their way over to the other parks and entities. So,
Yes.
yes, the sisters have gotten a lot of love on
It's so
on
cute.
the socials. I'm gonna probably backtrack just a little bit, but the other three like early events they have is Lunar New Year, and that's January through February. Celebrate Gospel. Did they spell
Mhm.
that wrong? They sure did.
Whoops.
Celebrate Gospel, which is end of February for a couple weekends, and then Disney's after hour events with the Sweetheart Night, Star Wars Night, Pride Night. Those are towards the end of the spring, the
I'll
spring
speak on like all of those after
beginning of
our
summer.
events. So if you're used to Disney World, again, I'll always make that comparison. Like, Disney World does occasional after hours events, but this is where Disneyland excels. This is their thing at Disneyland, is all of these different events, Sweethearts Nights, Pride Night. Pride Night this next year is only going to be 2 nights, and it's all the same week. It's June 16th and the 18th, because that's potentially when I'm going to go. So I have to kind of plan around that. Um, if you've ever wanted to do like a special party, this is something to highly look into. There's a reason they're popular every year. This is also where you can meet a lot of rare characters during these parties, especially like the Sweetheart Nights, where they bring out all the couples. You'll see so many characters. It's insane. Like, this will probably be the time that you see the most characters. um it's just, this is something that Disneyland, this is their thing, is the after hours events, and they are very sought after.
Yeah, those tickets go quick.
Hmm.
I would like to do the Star Wars night with my husband one of these years.
Yes. Honestly, I just want to be at, I don't care where. I don't care if it's Disneyland, I don't care if it's Disney World. I want to be at Disney on May the 4th. Like,
Maple.
don't tell me my dream is to have a lightsaber and be in Batu and everybody has their lightsabers and everybody just raises them up. Oh my God. Literally a dream. Like, that is so cute. I cry every time I watch those videos. I'm like, oh my God, this is so cute. It's I'm a nerd, okay? It's fine.
And then the other event right towards the end of spring is the Disney California Adventure Food and Wine Festival, which similar to our Disney World one, but I feel like it's much more like catered to the California coast from what I have heard and seen. And uh, they look better. I feel like ours have gotten a lot stale. Like it needs something a refresh, in my
Okay.
opinion. But so
Yeah.
that is another event, and that runs March 6th through the 27th. April, March 6th through
April.
April 27th. So there's a couple decent amount of time, but that won't necessarily change crowds in any
No.
sense.
No, the
Most of these
Disneyland
won't until you get later in the year.
Disneyland crowds are not terrible compared to Disney World. A lot of the locals will go during the weekdays, and not really the weekends because that's when all families are traveling. So really, the locals just go during the weekday, and they really only go for a couple hours and then they're gone. Whereas people who are traveling, obviously, like it's a whole vacation type thing. Crowds at Disneyland are way different. Like you can still have some pretty chaotic days, but for the most part, it's not
Mhm.
terrible. It really just depends on time of year. Obviously, we talk about it all the time. If the kids are out of school, the parks are going to be crazy because that's when everybody's on vacation. So just kind of keep that in mind. But it's like I said, I don't, and I've done Disneyland so many times during those off seasons where kids are out of school. I still don't think it's terrible. Like, even when we went in June, me and my best friend were shocked at how not crowded at all it
Mhm.
was. Like, most of the rides were maybe 30 minutes long. And then obviously some of the like lower tiered type rides were less than that. We were shocked. Shocked. We're like, there's no way somebody's got to be like pulling our leg here. There's no way these rides are that low. So next one I'm very excited about is the Millennium Falcon, the Smuggler's Run. We're now going to get Mando and Grogu. Can't wait. And this is going to be May 22nd. So if you're a Grogu fan like me, like Mandalorian, here we go. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, I love Grogu.
Is that something that's gonna stick around for a while?
I believe so because the movie's coming out. I can't remember
That's
when
what
they're
it
releasing
says.
it, but because The Mandalorian is coming out with a movie, I think this little overlay type thing is going to stay for a while.
It says it's releasing that same weekend in
Oh, okay. Yeah.
theaters. So,
Gotcha.
um,
Gotcha.
and then for Star Wars fans, they also changed their Space Mountain into Hyperspace Mountain for a limited time, and that begins April 28th.
Highly recommend. This is
Yeah.
so fun. If you like Space Mountain, Hyperspace is completely in the dark. Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. Highly recommend. Oh, so good.
And Space Mountain out in Disneyland is very different from
Hmm.
Disney World. So it's a completely different ride in general.
Yeah.
Uh, they are along the same lines of changing Millennium Falcon, Smuggler's Run. They're changing Soarin' across America, or so Soarin' around the world. Every so often in California, they'll change it to the Soarin' over California, like the original one. Love
Yeah.
that one. I like it better than the original. However, or the new one. However, they're changing it to celebrate America's 250th anniversary with
Hmm.
a new airborne adventure across the United States beginning July 2nd.
Yep.
And so that will showcase some of the country's most iconic places. So that would be cool. I'd be
Hmm.
excited to go check out that one.
For
Doesn't
sure.
say how long it's lasting, but it says a
It's
little
usually for a while that they keep that
limited
over
time.
within like that overlay, I guess, whatever. So Disney World does Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. Disneyland does Oogie Boogie Bash. So obviously, as you can tell by the name, the icon of the party is Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas. Ah, I can't wait. This is going to start August 21st, obviously up until Halloween. So in my personal opinion, now that I've been an agent for almost 3 years, Oogie Boogie Bash is a lot harder to get in terms of tickets because just the chaos of this party. If I if I remember correctly, it's not as many days as Mickey's Not So Scary, so it's already limited to begin with. Whereas at Disney World, they kind of stretch it out, and especially the further you get into October, they have like 4 days of the week that are party days. Disneyland, I think it's like two or three, even during Halloween, I think. Three?
Three.
Okay.
Three
Yeah.
through September and October.
Yeah.
So 33 dates.
I I'm trying so hard to get to Oogie Boogie. Literally, Oogie Boogie is my favorite like spooky character. So this is literally my event, and I am dying to go. You are going to find a lot of villains here where they're out interacting with characters. You'll see Sid from Toy Story. He'll interact with everybody. Ernesto de la Cruz from Coco will be here. Oogie Boogie, obviously. So many villains. Hades. They'll have, I'm sure you've seen them on social media. They'll have kind of like a little stage, and they'll interact with you. I literally dream of going to Oogie Boogie. I dream of it. So if you're a big Halloween person like me, this is the one. Okay. I'm not hating on Disney World. I love it. I love Mickey's Not So Scary. But like I said, I really like Halloween. And again, I think this is something that Disneyland does very well. I feel like because it's also a smaller park, so there's less, like, you can hang out in areas for longer where you're not pressured to get from point A to point B because you got to race across the park at Disney World. So I think that's part of it too. It's a lot more intimate, whereas Disney World is not. You gotta hustle.
Hmm.
And the treat trail is obviously a smaller distance. Whereas Disney World, you're walking the whole park. I feel like with the treat trail.
And then in the fall, too, we have Plaza de Familia, August 21st through the 31st, which is celebration of Coco and Day of the Dead around that.
The one thing difference between the two parks is Disneyland is a lot slower in terms of the transition period between Halloween and Christmas. They still obviously take down the Halloween decorations, whereas Disney World, it's literally night and day. Like overnight, they transform the entire Magic Kingdom into from Halloween to Christmas. Like it's a night and day. Disneyland is a little bit slower. They don't start their holiday parties, which we don't even know when those are. Disney, I forget what Disneyland's is. But they don't start any of that until November 18th. And we don't have an end date. I would just imagine, obviously, like Christmas. So,
Yeah, so they have the holidays at Disneyland is towards the end of the year. What we didn't talk about is D23 in August. Um, or D23 or whatever you want to call it.
D23.
Is it D23? This is going to be big, and it usually draws quite the big crowd every year, and especially now that the 70th anniversary is being stretched to the end and right up and to it. But this is when, and we've kind of talked about it a little bit before, this is where Disney shares what their up and coming is, how they've been doing. It's a huge fan event.
It's basically like a convention. Like if you're familiar
Mm-hmm.
with Comic Con, not necessarily to that extent of like vendors everywhere, but basically the same concept
Right.
where it's a bunch of Disney people showing up to learn all the things that are coming out. They share everything going on with the parks, everything going on with the cruise lines, international parks, movies coming out, and we're not just talking Disney movies. They go Pixar, Star Wars, uh what am I forgetting? Star Wars. Oh my god, Star Wars, Marvel. Oh my god,
Marvel. It was like, I'm not sure where you were going with
I don't
that.
know. They share literally everything within the Disney sphere, anything that's going on. Hopefully, because this last D23, there really weren't many updates
There
this
were.
year. So I feel like that's usually pretty common. Like every other year is when we get a lot of updates. I mean, think about it. Disneyland or Disney World is going through a massive expansion phase right now. I think because of Universal Studios, but Animal Kingdom is going through a massive retheming. Like half of the park is shut down because of retheming. Is it Magic Kingdom that's having Cars Land added? Is it Magic Kingdom? Right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I was like, I know I'm tired. There, so I have a feeling that this next D23 we're going to get a lot of updates. I am hoping, I predicted that they were going to share more Disney Cruise Line news, but I really think because of how fast they're spitting out these ships, like we just got the Destiny and we're about to get the Adventure, the one in Singapore, that's going to come out. When does that one sail? I forget.
I don't
I think it's
remember.
soon-ish
Yeah,
in
it's soon. It
2026.
like pretty soon.
But we have more ships coming out by the end of 20, is it 2031? We're supposed to have 13 ships in the fleet. So there's still a lot of ships that they have to announce. Like we don't know anything past the Adventure, which is the one that is exclusive to Singapore. As far as we know, that one's only going to stay in Singapore and it's only doing, I think it's 2 day itineraries where it's only at sea. And they have like a roller coaster on the ship. Like it's a massive, it's going to be the biggest ship in Disney Cruise Line fleet.
I thought I had saw a snippet because Disneyland is also closing a lot of things and reopening like right around that D23 as well. And they closed the Espionage, whatever. The in between Disneyland and Disney World is having both the and California will begin their future expansion, including the first ever themed attraction for Coco and the future of Avatar. That's what's coming. Avatar.
That's it. Okay. I remember that. Okay. Now it's coming back to
Um,
me.
I know.
But it's not going to be Disney World's Pandora. It is a
No.
completely new space, which is super cool. I'm glad that they're doing that and they're not recreating Pandora, which I'm glad. As
And
much as
then
I,
they
hey, I love Pandora, I think it is absolutely insane how they themed it. So I'm glad Disneyland is going to like expand that world.
and then the expansion of Avengers Campus. So, along with all of these dates and information that Disney shared, they also put out some promos. So, if you're looking to go next year, you could save a little bit of money. Um, they have a kids' summer ticket offer that starts for visits May 22nd through September 7th. I'm not going to go into great detail. If you would like more detail, get in touch with one of us. Um, there's some hotel stay offers up to 25% off for stays January 1st through May 21st at select resorts. And then there is another stay offer starting May 22nd through the 7th, again at select resorts, subject to availability and restrictions. And remember, Disneyland still has reservations you have to make for their tickets.
Mm-hmm.
They
There's a lot of differences between the two parks. Like you'd be surprised with how different they navigate everything. You've got to make, park reservations. Their lightning lane system is completely different. With Disneyland, when you make a package or even purchase tickets, you can add lightning lanes at time of booking, which you cannot do with Disney World. Um, there's just a lot of differences. But like I said, I adore Disneyland. I think it's adorable. I'm enamored by it, honestly.
And I think them giving us all these events and stuff, it's going to be a great time to plan your trip. And we can plan it far enough out to where you
Mhm.
can make payments, you can save, um, the best resorts are going to be available. So, like, if you're looking for Christmas next year, now is the time to jump on it because it's going to go quick, especially with all this information out. But, is there anything else?
Not at all.
We hope you got a lot out of this. Like I said, if you are looking for a Disneyland vacation and want more information on any of those offers or Disneyland in general, hesitate to reach out to one of us. We'd be happy to work with you. And same place, same time, do all the socials, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
That's it for this episode, Vacation Dreamers. We hope you picked up some tips, ideas, and a little extra magic for your next adventure. If you enjoyed hanging out with us, be sure to follow or subscribe so you never miss an episode. You can also find us on Instagram, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts for even more travel tips and updates. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep planning, and we'll see you real soon.